The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Café. This is the United Podcast Network.
And welcome to the Writer's Block Podcast. I'm Mandra Biscornet, and I believe everyone has a story to tell. What's yours?
Deborah Monk, empowering you to find your creative voice.
We are streaming live on Facebook this Tuesday morning, and our question for the day is, have you ever thought about writing a book with a partner? What would it be like to co-author a book and share the writing process? Well, we have a guest today who has done just that and is here to talk with us about what it's like to write and edit with a collaborator, Miss Cathy Waldron. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you, Cathy. Cathy is a fiction author and a former newspaper reporter and columnist. Her debut novel, In Polyester Pajamas, was published in June of 2012 and won the New Hampshire Writers Project 2013-2014 Reader's Choice Award for Outstanding Work of Fiction. Cathy is currently working on several books with co-author Bill Bishop. They plan to have their first book, Love Long Distance, published this year by her newly formed publishing company. We'll give you some contact info for Cathy a little bit later in the program, but welcome and thank you for coming on the show.
Again, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah. So how did it even come up, the thought of co-authoring a novel?
It just happened naturally. I went on a writer's site online to enter a contest, poetry contest, and that's Van's story. And he congratulated me I came in second place, he came in first, and he congratulated me. And then on the site, we all help each other with, we post our poems or our stories, and we help each other. So
it's like a little community on there.
So over time, we learned that, we became kind of buddies. There's buddies on there, and started writing together. It just naturally happened, and we have a nice blend. He's from the South. I'm up here from New England. So he has a different style than mine, but it just blends together really well, and it just happened.
When you say it blends, is that you write a paragraph, he writes a paragraph, or you edit each other's work?
What usually happens is either he or I will start and do the first part of a chapter, and then we, through email or talking on the phone or whatever, we go through it, and he puts in his little Southern style, if it's me that's doing it first, and we just go back and forth and decide what we think works
so
best.
It's all combined. Like, it's not like you write a chapter, he writes a chapter. It's all within
the same chapter.
The same chapter.
Yeah.
Have you planned out the whole book?
Well, we know most of what's going to happen. We don't really know where it's going in the end, but we have some ideas. So it forms as we go along. That's the way I like to write, because I really enjoy when you're writing and then it just kind of goes in a different direction that you don't expect plan. Yeah.
The discovery of the story as the writer.
So the one that we're working on now, it's just wonderful. I really love it. I can't wait till it comes out.
And that's the Love Long Distance?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Which is kind of ironic. Write long distance and love long distance.
Yeah.
So is it a love
Writing
story?
long distance and, yeah.
Is it a love story?
It is a love story. It takes place in 1964. Bill, he uses his name, and I use my name, Cathy, in the novel. He is going. He's going in the Air Force, and he's going to train and get ready to go over to he'll be in Vietnam. And they have to say goodbye at the train station, so it's very touching there. And they write back and forth to each other. But she talks about the culture back in 1964 and all the things that are happening, the Beatles or the Styles or anything that's going on. And he talks about what it's like to be in training and then he'll going over there.
Was your co-author in the military?
He was 30 years military in the Air Force.
Was he in Vietnam as well?
No. He was in Desert Storm, but he wasn't in Vietnam. No.
Does he write more of that male character, or do you share them equally? Like, are you kind of writing more the female? character in that story?
Meaning that it's mostly the female talking,
or that when it's her talking, it's more of your writing. When it's him talking, it's more of his writing. Or are you both?
Well, when it's my voice when I'm writing, so you can tell the difference, and when he writes, so you can tell the difference. But it does blend in together as we work it. It's just, he has a really Southern style that's very unique, and he can make a person laugh, even though the story could be sad. You could cry and laugh at the same time with the way that he uses the language. It's just amazing the way he writes.
Wow, is he published?
He hasn't been published yet.
Wow.
So this is like he's worked on several books, and we're going to work them together to get them to publication. So I just can't wait till I see his name on the cover.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is great.
How do you divide up, or do you divide up the editing process? Like, how does that
Well, on the
piece work?
site is really nice, because what we do is we edit it ourselves and we talk it through.
Okay.
We don't always agree, and we
so
work.
tell me, what happens when...
Well, we get frustrated sometimes, or we have to talk about it a little bit to try to understand it, and we have to be open enough to see the other side. It works out. It's fun. It takes a lot of energy out of us, but it works out. And then we put it up to share with the writers on the site, and they help with the editing, which is really great.
And what site is this?
This is Fan Story.
FAN.
STORY. It's a great site.
So you two are writing it together, and then you put pieces of it up on this site, and then people
As the chapters are
voluntarily
done,
help edit?
they do. They're
Wow.
wonderful. Yes.
Boy, I've got to check out Fan Story. I
Yeah,
know what I'm doing
yeah.
later this afternoon. Nice cup of hot coffee. And
Anybody can go on the site? It's
Well,
open,
it is a
or
membership.
It's a membership, okay.
It's not much. I think it's $9.99 a month, so it's not much at all. And you meet a lot of great writers on there.
wow. I've always wanted to write a book from a male and female perspective, and I wanted to write it with a man. And he
Yes.
wrote the man's part, and I write the women's part. And I was going to have it start in therapy, and you wouldn't realize the two of them are married because they'd be so
that would be-
different.
yeah.
So what Mandra said, I'm kind of surprised that you don't do the female part and he does the male part.
I do the female part. I'm sorry. I do the female part. He does the male part.
Oh, did you
And
get that?
Yeah,
I
she said that's
misunderstood-
her voice.
That's my
So that's
voice.
what I thought
so the
she meant by
female,
that.
and he does the male part.
Oh,
Yes.
I just misunderstood.
And it's not just us talking to each other. It does go into things that are happening around us, too. So it goes back and forth between letters. We have poetry in there because we both write poetry as well. So we have, love poetry that goes back and forth at times.
Wow, of course,
It's
I
just
can't help
very
but wonder,
different.
is there a little secret romance happening behind the scenes?
I don't know. We'll keep it secret if there is.
Well, we'll just make it'll be like the Dynasty. What was that big, who killed JR?
Yes, that's right.
So
Keep
the
it
question
secret.
will be, is the romance real? Like a Lady Gaga,
We'll let
what's the guy
people
from
fig-
Star is Born?
yeah.
Bradley Cooper thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who knows?
Is there what's an example of a time where you thought the story was sort of gonna go one way, and he maybe thought it was gonna go a different direction, and how did that get resolved? And first of all, do you know other people that do this, that co-author?
No, I haven't met anybody else that co-authors
Really?
or does it this way.
Yeah.
This is very unique, this idea that just
Right.
formed naturally. What will happen if in the past few chapters, I've started the chapters, and then when it gets to him, he'll go in a different direction because he has a different thought. Although we've talked it out, he'll go where the writing takes him. When it comes back to me, I just adjust, and it just works between
Well,
us.
and it does make sense because if it's two people, so are you writing first person?
We do.
Each of you write first person. Okay,
Yes,
so-
but then, like I said, it does go into a scene. Like if something's going on, where it's written, telling about what's happening too. So it changes.
So in the book, sometimes you are actually together. He's not always off at war and it's just letters.
That's right. That's right.
So then whose perspective are you in?
Um,
Whose POV?
meaning,
In the scenes that you're together, are you writing from her POV or his POV or omniscient?
I write from my point of view. Meaning, is that what you're saying? I write from my perspective. He writes from his, and then sometimes it's like talking about the scene. I'm not great about this. I know what third person is and first person is, but I'm not great about what you're meaning here.
Whose head are we in?
Well, we can be in my head or his head, or just third person.
Okay, so when you're
looking at
together,
it
it'd be
and
third
going,
person.
yes,
So sometimes it's
Interesting.
just the female, and that's sort of what you're writing, and she's
Right.
telling her story. Sometimes it's the male. Sometimes it's maybe what's going on
right.
broad, like you said, in the culture or something like
or
that.
Or sometimes it's another character talking, because if we're in a scene where, and I don't want to give what's going on away, but if we're in a certain scene, another character will talk. So we'll go back and forth. Yes, yeah.
Wow, and how soon can we get this book? Because
Well,
it sounds like so much
year.
fun.
It will be this year.
year.
It will be this year, later this year, because we're still working it. But
How did you guys make some of those marketing business decisions about?
Or have they even made
or
them
have
yet?
you? Yeah.
have we even made them yet?
Yeah.
Meaning,
Have you planned your marketing strategy?
well, no, we still have a lot to talk about what we're going to do. As you mentioned in the beginning, I am starting the publishing company, and we're going to put it under the publishing company, and that's called Give a Salute.
Okay.
So that's my publishing company. He helped come up with the name for it.
Well,
Give a hoot,
yes,
give a salute.
yep.
So it has the logo is
Military.
an owl with the book open. Yes, does go to the military,
Right.
and he always says a salute for people when they do a good job with their writing, or when he wants to commend somebody for something. I just think I've learned along the way through the other books I've written and published, just to how to promote it a little better as
Right.
it comes out. We do plan on doing some signings and promoting beforehand and building it up.
And where does he live?
He lives in Marianna, Florida.
Will he ever come up here?
We don't know.
Because if he did, it would be great to have you both on the show.
Yeah.
Or we could get him to Skype in and have Cathy here once the book is out.
Right.
It would be interesting to hear from the two of them.
We'll see what happens once we have never met.
Oh, you've never met in person? Really?
So not only are you co-authoring, you're co-authoring with somebody that you've never met.
That's right.
Like in person.
That's right. That's right.
I wonder if in a way that almost, I'm thinking now to write a love story, it would almost be easier to write a love story with a man that I hadn't met.
Would it? Really? Because they would know you so well?
Well, because then I could be into the story. I wouldn't be so busy thinking, oh, it's Bill. I'd be thinking it's Bill.
Well, see,
Because she said he's keeping his name.
Yeah.
He would be the character then to me rather than the person that I know.
I think as we're writing it, we feel like we're the characters, and it kind of blends together too
Right.
as to who he is.
I think
and
there's
who
a
I am.
blurry line there.
There's a blurry line.
and the real life long distance love story.
If Tom Hanks is listening, he could make up a Have You Got Mail?
Yeah, there you
new
go.
version.
There you go.
Yeah. Do
No,
you
but in the story they have met, and they say goodbye. They've been together, and they're going to be apart.
And does he make it back from the war?
That's
Don't
the
tell
big
us.
question.
Of course.
Yes, that's the
question.
big question.
Being at this point in the process, do you think you would do this again?
Yes,
You would write
definitely. We have
collaboratively
several.
again?
With him, yes, we have several books that we'll be working on.
Is it a series again?
This
Oh, right.
I haven't thought about whether this is a series. I can't tell you. We don't know what's going to
Plus,
happen.
if you tell us it's a series, then we sort of know
Yeah.
he comes back.
No, I can't.
We don't know.
We haven't thought about it as a series. We have several other books that he started or I've started that we're going to work together to finish.
Do you find it easier to keep the momentum when you're working with someone else?
I do.
Yeah, good question.
I used to be published by a publishing company.
Yes.
And I liked it, kept me going to work with other people. When I went to self-publish, it was harder to work alone.
Right.
It gets momentum. I could very easily procrastinate and say, oh, I don't want to.
I'm tired, I'm busy.
I got a blank page in front of me. I don't have the inspiration. But when someone on the other end is saying, go,
They're
go,
motivating
go.
you.
Yeah, and he is motivating. He
have
is
to
military.
do
So
your half of the work.
Right, he's
there's
military.
some.
there's
That's
military, so
Yes.
you get it done. He has really good discipline when it comes to writing, and that has helped
Do
me
you set
tremendously.
deadlines?
We do. Well, we have deadlines because we have to get it out. So once
Right.
we get one up, we have to keep the momentum going with the people on fan story as well, so that they'll come back and review some more, because you get a point system too. They review it and they give you a rating, so that helps bring you up in the ranks and gain popularity, which will help with the promotion of the book as well.
Wow. Well, and it must help that he won and you were second. So you take the first, silver and gold and you put them together.
Yes.
Right.
Well,
That's a good thing.
that was in that particular poetry contest, yes. But he is he's a favorite writer on Fan Story. I haven't been on as long as he has.
But you're published.
But I'm published.
Right.
Yes,
So you
that's
bring
right.
a lot to the table.
Well, that's right.
Yes. Because the way we met is you were one of the first authors at Breonna Glen as well, as was I.
Yes.
My impression is, and I could be wrong, but I think you were their top seller.
Oh, really? I don't know. Maybe.
Remind
Or
us,
one of
what was
them.
that publishing company?
Who published my first book, Breonna Glen.
Oh, okay.
And
Yep.
that's how Cathy got published the first time, was with Breonna Glen. And then she got her rights back to the Pajama series.
Yes, I did.
Right.
Yes, I did.
They were nice. They didn't have to give them back to us
No,
when
they
they
didn't.
closed.
And all of the
Artwork.
everything. And still an ongoing friendship with all of them.
Yeah,
Yes,
so they were lovely.
Yes.
But it's
But I did miss that not working.
having other people to talk to.
Having those deadlines
yes,
and everything,
it
and
helps.
having to self-discipline. I did. I went on to finish the series and do another book, and I've done many other writings here or there. But it's nice to write with a co-author. It's exciting.
Well, and I can imagine that when it comes back and he's taken it in a little bit of a different direction, that would motivate you, because you think, hey, wait a second, and then you'd
I hadn't thought of that, or that's
Right.
an interesting twist.
Yeah.
Or
So it's like I'm reading the book too at the same time,
Right.
right?
Right.
Or finding out what the story is going to be. And there's so much satisfaction as we finish each chapter. It's just, I'm sure you know as a writer, and you're writing too.
I'm writing.
Okay.
I don't have the satisfaction of finishing yet. But
But
you finished once, twice.
we could go without sleep, and we're writing and writing and writing, and then when you feel that it's done, and there will still be more changes but with the editing. But when you feel it done, it's just such an amazing feeling. And it's exhaustion, but it's
Right, rolled in exhilaration.
And you'll be sharing that with someone, which is kind of exciting.
That's right.
You'll be
That's
Right.
right. So we
feeling
can talk.
that.
Oh, isn't this great? We did another
We finally
chapter.
finished. Yeah, right.
And even the highs and the lows.
Sure.
I could imagine, but it would have to really be the right person. I could see how collaborating with the wrong person.
Right.
It would be like being married to the wrong person.
Sure.
It would be hell.
Yeah,
Yes.
sure. It's just amazing that it just happened. It wasn't planned.
Right.
And I
it
think
just
for a
happened.
story like this, where there's the two characters that are writing back and forth and communicating back and forth, and
Right.
that kind of works.
Right,
But
right.
another
It does
story
work.
might not lend itself.
Sure.
so
if it was a
easily to
different type of
collaborator.
story.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Wow. So if someone wanted to find a collaborator, I guess they could go on Fan Store would be one place.
If it's meant to be, it'll be, right? That's how I believe. I do. We can plan everything out in life, but
It doesn't go that way.
no.
And where can people find you, Cathy?
Well, I have recently gone back to my maiden name. So my name now is Waldron, and as I move forward, I'll be writing under Cathy Waldron.
Okay.
But my first 4 books are under Catherine Doherty.
Okay.
So you can find out more about my books at CatherineDoherty.com, which is CatherineDougherty.com.
All right. And that's for your polyester pajamas, woolen bikinis.
In polyester pajamas, in woolen bikinis, in leather chaps, and Music, Memories, and Love, which is a Christmas novella.
She has such a sweet voice to hear her say, in
leather chaps.
It's a little
Oh, no.
incongruous. It's kind of intriguing.
Well, I grew up in the Lakes region of New Hampshire, and Motorcycle Week every year
Yep.
since I was a
Yeah,
little kid
Laconia.
that I knew about. So this is in that book with Jean and Rosie, who are from the series. Yeah.
Way different set of leather chaps than I was imagining.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Cathy, for coming on and sharing your experience as a collaborator.
It's been great to talk. Thank you.
If you'd like to find Cathy, you can find her at CatherineDoherty.com. Thank you again for listening, and be sure to check out the Writer's Block NH Facebook and the Writer's Block podcast on your favorite podcast catcher. If you'd like to hear this episode again, you can head on over to the UnitedPodcastNetwork.tv. That's the UnitedPodcastNetwork.tv. And may you be inspired and empowered to write your own story.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Café, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.